Good morning, everyone. We are here. We are here. Okay. Not morning where you're at? Well, that's okay because you could have eggs for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Welcome to episode 13 of Three Eggs Are Better Than One. I am Brad Stanton, along with my fellow eggs, Brian Hremza and Matt M. We would like to thank all of you for the positive feedback from last week. We hope you really enjoyed the spin-off show. Wondered what your favorite spin-offs were. Hope you continue to give us feedback on that because that could be a topic that we continue from now on. Having said that, sunny side up, man. Ain't my day, but Bryant, what's your good news of the week?
My good news of the week, it has not been a fun week for me. So my sunny side up happens in 2 days. As a wrestling fan, it is the Royal Rumble. It is the kickoff to WrestleMania season. It is one of the most unpredictable nights of the year. You think you know who's going to win, you don't know. Surprise appearances, legends coming back. It's like wrestling Christmas for all of us to see what's going to happen. It's in Indianapolis this year. Tons of big storylines. Can CM Punk finally do it? This is the end of the road for John Cena. Can he get one more run? So many questions. And for me, just so excited for Saturday. Looking forward to the event, looking forward to the show. And that's my sunny side up. Brad.
So, is there any chance it could be a dark horse?
To me, yes, there's
I
always
have
a
one.
chance.
I have one. Who's your dark horse?
For me, my dark horse, it's going to sound odd, but it's Logan Paul.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh no, 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 no,
to
no,
set up the
no.
match, to set up the match with, to do something with, to have that dynamic play out of, he could pick anybody he wants, and you have that heel who can just come out and cut the promo and just, I think he's got a chance. Not saying he will, but I could see him being in that final four of just out there to kind of agitate the fans even more.
My dark horse is Jey Uso.
I would,
I think there's a story there, and I know you got all these big stars that
Mm-hmm.
everybody's expecting to win,
Yeah,
like above the level.
yeah,
But man, that'd be a great story.
it would be. Matt,
uh,
do you have a dark horse?
well, I'm not saying, first of all, when this makes air,
We'll
the
already
Rumble
know.
will have
The
already.
Rumble's already done. Yeah, when this airs, we're done. We already know.
So I'm not, there's no limbs I'm getting out on. I wouldn't anyway. I do think it's going to be a high odds percentage person winning. I guess a dark horse would be Sami Zayn, though.
I mean, it usually is a high odds, right? I
Yeah,
think one of the biggest surprises ever was Drew McIntyre, and it wasn't really, but it was. And it
Yeah, it
wasn't,
yeah,
but it
wasn't.
was.
Yeah.
yeah.
But all right, well, that's cool. I'm looking forward to the Rumble as well. Can't wait. My sunny side up is a two-parter because the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. Eagles, Eagles. Listen, I don't know what's going to happen. You got a team that knows how to win that they're going against, the Kansas City Chiefs. They know how to win. They're going for the three-peat. I don't know if America is really behind them or not. It's hard to say, but I, I feel good about it. I feel good about the game, so I'm excited. Second sunny side up is actually as we record today's my birthday. It hasn't been the best of days. I'll be honest with you. But one thing was funny is that you get on Facebook, everybody wishes you a happy birthday, right? Well, Bill Apter wished me a happy birthday on Facebook. Now, if you don't know who Bill Apter is, big name in wrestling. Apter Mags is what his magazines. He's dealt with just about every wrestler known to man. Everybody knows him, and he knows everybody. On-air personality and just a really good person. If sometimes you become friends on Facebook with wrestlers and they're not really them and wrestling personalities, he's him. I've met him. He's local to me. He lives out where I used to work in Nissan area, and he's been in there a few times and we've talked. So that's always nice, to hear from someone like that. But also thank you everybody for the birthday wishes.
Hmm.
Matt?
So I have a few things. And first of all, just to make it proper here, happy birthday to you. All right, I'm not gonna
Thank
sing
you.
the whole
Thank you
song.
so much.
I won't be paying anybody. How old are you?
40 freaking nine.
Yeah.
Gross. That is gross. Oh, and the
One,
next year's the big year. We know. We
one.
know.
No, no. What I like to say is one good year left.
Uh,
We'll
I don't
have
know if this is a good year so far, but
well, there's 11 months left. All right, so I have a few more things for Sunny Side Up, and I'm really excited for this next one here because the storm has passed, and the sun has shone, and the snow has melted, and the paper boy is risen. Today, we mark this Thursday. Not one, but two newspapers have become available. One that has emergeth from the ice. The temperature has risen the last couple days. I think we suspected that last week's paper was maybe just trapped under the snow and the ice from the recent snowfall. And I honestly did not think that was the case. And it was the case. And on top of that, I got a fresh new paper today. Two papers, complete with two headlines, as usual, trashing the nearby mega mall American Dream. So they didn't they did not shy away from their usual subject matter there. Is really excited. One of the articles is actually about, and I might want to talk about this on a future episode if we're talking about some New Jersey stuff, because I got some ideas there. Bryant, do you know what the blue laws are? Brad, I'm sure knows.
Absolutely. I
Not
live
even
one.
close. No, no.
So, I mean, I haven't done the full research on this yet, but if you live in New Jersey, and if you live in Bergen County, New Jersey, which is where I live and have lived for the majority of my life, many businesses are closed on Sundays.
Yep.
And not only are they closed, they're not allowed to be open. And it's always been a point of contention. The origins are a little cloudy. Politics this, economy that. And it's interesting. So yeah, we're gonna save the bulk of that conversation for another episode maybe. But one of the articles was about how this mega mall has decided that they're not going to abide. So and
So, yeah,
yeah,
and
go
you're
ahead.
right. Because I don't work on Sundays because we're not allowed to be open, car dealerships.
Mm.
Blue law, absolute blue law. So I just wanted to throw that out
Most
there.
car dealerships that I know are usually closed on the weekend anyway, so that kind of surprises me. But
Weekend?
yeah, they close
As in like
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday?
Saturday and Sunday both. Yeah.
Man, I live in the wrong part of the town.
You guys don't do
Yeah.
any fucking work out there. Come on.
No, most of the time it snows enough that we're just stuck. So we just
Yeah.
try not to do much.
So my last thing ties into what we're saying a little bit too. This is a follow-up. And a couple weeks ago, I was asking you guys some questions of, has any of this stuff that you see on TV ever really happened to you in real life? And I talked about somebody tapping the back of a vehicle to indicate to the driver non-verbally, hey, it's okay to go. Well, I swear to God, for the first time in my life, that happened to me today. I got gas, and here's another New Jersey thing. If you live in New Jersey, you don't pump your own gas.
Nope.
I think it's the only state left. It's
Oregon does it too, so I do
it's
know
I don't
that.
know. I think they might have fallen off of that, but again, maybe we do research for a future episode. But here it's illegal to pump your own gas. Anyone who thinks that it's better to pump your own gas is an idiot because why would that be better than sitting in your car and not doing it?
I know why, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Save it
Because
for
I don't want to wait.
yeah. What there's no
I've waited.
this isn't a line. This isn't a 20. This isn't a rest stop on the highway 20 cars deep because everybody needs their last fuel stop. There's nobody else there.
Okay, that's great. I've waited.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, when I was done, when the gas station attendant finished fueling, he gave me the tap and I drove away. It's real. It happened.
Tap is real.
It is real. Yeah, I knew that already. But and again, you don't pump your own gas. What?
Don't
No,
pump.
they're not,
Have you
you're not
ever done
allowed.
it?
You're not
Have
allowed.
you ever done it? Is the
Yeah, of
question.
course.
Okay.
I mean, I have existed outside of New Jersey, so and I've driven
I
a
don't know if
car.
you just sit in the car and look around and go, when's somebody showing up? Like, what are we doing here?
I don't
No,
even know if Pennsylvania has full service anymore like that. They used to all the time. But
yeah.
lately, nobody's coming out in the Wawa and freaking pumping your gas for you in Pennsylvania, I promise you.
I love it, man. I just sit there and boom.
Play on your phone.
Think of something to write for the show on my phone.
That's that's why he's got all this great content. It's
There it
freaking all
is.
this extra
We finally
time.
know.
All those
Yeah.
minutes. All right, that's the end of Sunny Side Up. Let's move on.
Hard boiled it is. Now, I'm going to mix this with little egg whites. And as you said, Madam, egg whites is follow-ups. Now, I don't know if we talked about this on the show or on our group chat because sometimes that gets muddied, right, in our minds. And it's the more shows we do, the more it will get muddied. So maybe this isn't a follow-up for anybody out there, but it's a follow-up for us. We talked about walking the dog And is it okay to, when the dog, does its business, to put it in the trash can of somebody else? Now, I think we all came to an agreement.
I never spoke about this in my life.
Yes, we did.
Not on
Bryant,
a show, not in a text,
Yeah,
Bryant,
this has
we
been on the
did.
show. Yeah,
not in a house, not with a mouse. If we did, I would
Yes,
yeah.
tune
No, this has
we
in.
been brought
talked
up.
about this.
Yeah, I
You were
remember this
part of it.
conversation. Yeah, this
Okay.
conversation has happened.
I didn't talk about this with the kickout crew. I'm going to tell you that
Well,
right
well,
now.
then let's have it again. Let's do it twice.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you walk your dog. It's trash day the next morning. Okay, I'm not talking about going up to somebody's house. Okay, and looking around for cans in their backyard. They put their cans, up near their driveways, and they're open and available. And I have a bag, and I'm not gonna be honest with you. I walk my dog. I don't feel like walking with a bag of crap for another 3/4 of a mile if there's trash available. Also, we also talked about, Matt, apparently you didn't remember, is that it's better than leaving it in their yard, correct? It's like, so the alternative is you put it in the can, and Matt, does someone want someone else's dog? It doesn't really matter. I mean, what it's dog crap's dog crap. Your dog, someone else's dog, it really doesn't matter. None of it's good. So anyway, I do that. I put it in a can and I feel it's okay. So I go take my dog for a walk, and there's nothing, like no trash cans. It's not that kind of day. I come back and there are two giant bags of dog feces where I keep my trash cans. Now it's not trash day. Somebody knows that I do this and saved up all the crap and put it in front of my house.
How is this your life?
I know it happened because it was not there. And all right, so now you think, all right, is a windy day? Are these bags small? Did they blow out of another can? No, no, no. This thing was like 3 pounds of shit. Okay. And it was I couldn't believe it. Somebody's mad, and they waited for me. They waited for me to leave with my dog, knowing I'm gone for a good 15 minutes.
Do you do this to the same house every time?
I do it to the same. It depends. No, it just depends. But there's one house in particular on my street
Oh my
that gets it
God.
more than others. Yes, because they're very, very good about putting their trash out twice a week.
Okay.
Having said that, I tie the bag, I put it in. No harm, no foul. Some garbage man gets it the next day. So I think I was being punished. Somebody, and I want to know who it is. So I asked my wife, I said, can you check the Ring app for the last 25 minutes and see if anybody there,
Yeah.
of course, the Ring app for the first time ever is dead. Of course, I don't know if she's part of this, a part of the conspiracy. I don't know, because I mean, I'll tell you what, if I freaking bend over and in my living room when she's at work, she knows I did it. Okay. So all of a
So many
sudden,
comments. So many
my
comments.
God, well, I'm just saying this happened, and I am convinced that it happened, and she is part of it, maybe because all of a sudden the Ring app's not working.
We checked the security footage. There's 12 minutes missing.
Yeah.
Okay. First, I want to say, originally when you brought this up for the 12th time on the show, I wanted to abstain from the conversation because that talking about dogs and that's not really me. But it did get interesting. There's a diabolical neighbor, or you watched an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm recently and you're conflating it with real life somehow.
No, I do remember that episode, but I'm not. This really happened.
Oh my God. I
It's amazing.
So I really wish I had this footage, but now the Ring app's dead, and
What are you
we're
gonna,
not fixing
are,
it.
are you, here's the big question. Are you going to continue your garbage can borrowing ways?
Yeah, I am, because I still think it's wrong. I don't. Why do I have to? It smells. It
Well,
smells.
you're here you are. You're giving a reason why someone else who doesn't have a dog doesn't want it in their vicinity, on their property, in front of
Everyone in
them.
my neighborhood has a dog, I think, because if they didn't, my dogs would be barking nonstop all day, every day at everything that walks by. I'm telling you, there's a lot of dogs in my neighborhood. Whatever the case may be, it was spiteful, very spiteful.
Was this was an egg whites somehow?
Well, yeah, because it was a follow-up.
Oh, this is a brown eggs.
Brown eggs.
Just
Uh,
just cause.
anyway,
It is.
that's it for me because I can't talk about it anymore. So now we're going to go to a new segment. We always love our new
Oh.
segments. And Matt M, tell us what expired eggs is.
Expired eggs. Now, we've kind of talked expired eggs without it being a formal topic. Um, but we're going to use this category to discuss maybe some recently deceased noteworthy folks, or maybe a show that got canceled or a band that broke up, something like that. So I was thinking about who to talk about or what to talk about, and I don't know where this came from. But I decided I want to talk about the actor Andre Braugher. I hope you guys know who I'm talking about. I'm going to give you a little bio on him. Bryant should have a photo he can share for our viewing audience. Maybe that'll jog something in Brad's memory there. Andre Braugher was born in Chicago, July 1st, 1962. Though he's primarily known for his work in television, he has appeared in films such as Glory, Primal Fear, Frequency, Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. But on TV in the 90s, Andre appeared in 98 episodes of the beloved NBC police drama Homicide: Life on the Street, winning an Emmy for lead actor in a drama series in 1998 for portraying Detective Frank Pembleton. Now, I never actually watched Homicide. Might have been a little young for the start of that. I know it was on Friday nights, and I know my parents we used to watch it. I think it was a little gritty for the time, and Friday night was not a good night for TV. So I think they put that there for it. Just was not a less. It was a more of a less popular series, but still good. I also think people think of that as sort of a spiritual precursor to The Wire, which was, of course, a successful HBO cop series. Both series took place in Baltimore with Baltimore police detectives. So that's something where he kind of first broke out, won an Emmy. Of course, Andre Braugher also appeared in all 153 episodes of the beloved cop sitcom Brooklyn Nine-Nine, alongside stars Andy Samberg, Terry Crews, Chelsea Peretti, and others. Brower was nominated 4 times for Emmys for portraying Captain Raymond Holt, the ever stoic but somehow always hilarious police captain charged with leading Brooklyn's 99th precinct. The show itself, you're going to like this one, Brad. The show itself was nearly an early expired egg, as surprisingly, Fox canceled the show after 5 seasons on May 10th, 2018, only to be picked up for a 6th season by NBC the very next day. And ultimately, it ran for 3 more seasons, 8 seasons total. Sadly, Andre passed away from lung cancer on December 11th, 2023, at the not so old age of 61. I wanted to talk about him a little bit today because I really don't think his death got enough attention in the news in a celebratory fashion. I think that he obviously was able to do drama. He was able to do comedy. A very recognizable face. I really love the guy and whatever he did, and I thought this would be a nice chance to maybe use our little platform here to give him a final salute. That is my expired egg. What do you guys think about Andre Braugher? Did you watch Homicide? Did you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Let's hear it, Brad.
No, you go first, Bryant. I got one, but
I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I was about ready to scream 9-9 when you said it. I didn't because I didn't want to scare everyone. I know him from that. I know the other stuff that he's done, but for me, he will be always Captain Raymond Holt. Him and Cheddar, of course, his lovable dog. Watching him on that show, how stoic he is all the time, and like you just see him and he's like, I'm very happy, and he's just stone faced the whole time, and how he was able to portray that through the whole series was something that I just thought was amazing, and that shows the ability he has as an actor to pull that off. So to me, he's always going to be Captain Raymond Holt, and I love Brooklyn, and I miss the show still.
so interestingly enough, for me, I liked and this is not going to be a good look for me. I like the movie City of Angels. Okay. And he was Cassiel in that, which was he was an angel. This was Nicolas Cage, Meg Ryan movie as well, where Nicolas Cage is an angel, and he actually becomes a fallen angel, which means he's actually a demon. I don't know if you guys know that, but that's what that means. And because he wanted to be with Meg Ryan, and that was his best friend in it. And I thought that was an interesting movie. He's been in a lot of stuff. I love Primal Fear. Uh,
Yeah.
I think Primal Fear is a great movie. It's we what's his name in that? Not Richard Gere. American History X guy.
Ed Norton.
Ed
Yeah,
Norton.
Ed Norton. Thank you, thank you. I sometimes the old man, 49.
Ooh.
He plays I guess the statute of limitations is up in that movie.
Yes.
He has two personalities, but it ends up not being real. And I think we give him a lot of credit for playing those two parts, even though he is an actor. He should be able to play as many parts as possible. But he had an interesting role in that as like
Yeah.
Richard Gere's assistant in that. So I do like him.
Yeah, I tell you what, Frequency is a good movie too. I
Yeah,
think
it is.
a little odd, but better than you would think it would be. Never watched Homicide. I'm not sure if I've got it in me to go back and watch a show that's got so many episodes. It's probably going to feel dated. I mean, I even thought The Wire felt dated when I watched that. I did not watch it at the time.
It was the beepers.
Yeah, yeah, it
But
wasn't.
that was part of it. It
It
was
wasn't just that. The
the beepers
presentation,
were dated already.
the presentation of the show felt dated. I just think they do it way better these days. I think it was a bit of a trailblazer for premium cable storytelling. But anyways, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, great ensemble comedy show. If you haven't seen it out there, it's definitely worth watching. I remember hearing about it and thinking, oh no, Andy Samberg's gonna be in the head of a sitcom. This is gonna be terrible.
It's
Boy, was I
amazing.
wrong.
Amazing.
It's one of those it's one of those shows like The Office or Parks and Rec, and I'm pretty sure the creator had a hand in a lot of these shows that we're talking about here. And The Good Place, where it's really about the ensemble cast. Every character's funny or charming in their own way. Brooklyn Nine-Nine was like that. And I just want to give him one last 9-9.
9-9.
So very good, Matt. We didn't see that coming, but that's as expected, right? From Matt M. All that
Unexpected.
time at the gas station really pays off.
Yes.
Which leads us to Cage Free, which is out of character likes. I don't know how many more of these we can do because how many out of character likes can we do?
Running
But
low.
Bryant, why don't you go ahead first?
For mine, I am going to blame my wife, Sue. Something that she enjoys that at first I didn't. I thought it was boring, annoying. I hated doing it. But now I find myself doing it without her when I go on trips. Like I'll seek it out. I love going antiquing, going to antique stores, just going around and finding like old stuff to go look at. And there's several places I enjoy going. Like when I travel to like Omaha, there's one specific antique store that we have to go to every time we're there. And even if we're driving by, we still stop and go. If I'm out there by myself, I still go because it's a fantastic place. It's called the Brass Armadillo. If anyone is interested, it does have multiple outlets. But I just love going antiquing. Don't know why. A lot of the stuff is I walk by fast, but like there's always those certain things that catch my eye and I have to go back and take a look at again.
So I don't feel like that's out of character for you because you're a collector.
Collector.
You're a collector. Now, I mean, I get it. You're not talking about
Yeah,
wrestling memorabilia here. You're talking
yeah.
about antiques. And did you ever watch that show that used to be on where everybody was bidding? Antique Roadshow?
I have seen that. Yes, I have watched that.
You might want to watch some archives. You might like that.
I might check that out. Yeah, I'll check it out.
No, that's good. That's definitely good. Very good. Very good out of character like. Now, for me,
Why am I always last?
well, I have to be second because I opened the segments.
Okay. So the percentage is not in my favor.
I gave you the reason. Anyway, where was I? So, I'm today 49, which means I'm an adult, right? Well, a very old adult, getting to be a very old adult, but yet I still like cartoons. Sue and I the other night, I fired up Apple TV Plus and we put on an episode of the Peanuts first season, and it was called Snoopy's Reunion. Now, Snoopy's Reunion, what does that mean? Well, it gives you the backstory of when Snoopy was born, and he had all his puppy brothers and sisters at the farm of Daisy Hill Puppy Farm. And we watched this for 25 minutes at 10 o'clock at night. Why? Because we like cartoons, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, poor Snoopy did have a home at first with a different girl, but because the apartment complex no longer allowed dogs, she had to give Snoopy back. And guess who got him? Charlie Brown, our good friend Charlie Brown. So, yes, every once in a while, even though I like, a good drama or a good crime show or a good comedy, every once in a while you want to sit back and enjoy a good cartoon. Peanuts it is.
I can appreciate that. I liked Peanuts a lot growing up, especially like the holiday specials. The
Mm,
only
fantastic.
on that time of year. Yeah, the kind of hunt for them on TV. Um, you are officially at the age though where your voice is the wah 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 wah.
As are you, my friend. But thank you for that.
All right. So my cage free is music. So if you know me, you probably know I like rock music a lot. I've talked plenty about it. No, Brian is shocked. Bands that started in the 90s usually. And I like jam music a lot too. Haven't talked about that, but if you know me, you know that. But I do like a little pop music too. I just don't like paraded around. That doesn't mean that I don't listen to it or it doesn't come on or I'm not like with it or interested. So there is a pop singer that I like a lot. Her name is Daya, Daya, Daya. She put out one full-length album almost 10 years ago now. It's called Sit Still, Look Pretty from 2016. She was only 17 when it came out, which is crazy. It had like a hit song on it called Hideaway, which it's possible you've heard it. This kind of music is I call it mall pop because it's playing at the mall. It's playing if you're at the gas station, you go inside to the convenience store there. It's playing there. You're grabbing lunch at Salad Works or some other place, and it's playing in there. So you hear it whether you like to or not. You hear it. And I just think that whole album's worth of songs is pretty darn good for pop music, especially for somebody who was so young at the time. And I don't know if she's Taylor Swift sitting there writing her own music or anything like that, and maybe 10 people were helping her out. Don't know, don't care. But I do like her. So I thought that was a very fitting cage-free, out of character like for
You
myself.
know what I find very out of character? You made fun of me a couple weeks ago for really screwing up the outline, right? We did TV, and then we did TV again, right? Well, guess what?
Uh-huh.
We're doing music now from you, and guess what Brian's topic is? Music. So guess what,
Oh.
madam? You're no better than any of us.
Or there's just a blend.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who she is.
That's
No,
okay.
I
no
probably
offense. When
know
you
her
said
songs, but I don't know.
the
If you
moment you said pop music, I thought you were gonna go Taylor Swift.
if you saw her and started speaking to her, do you know what you would sound like to her? Wah wah
Wah,
wah.
wah, 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 wah. Yeah. All right. I guarantee you, Brian has nothing to add to that. So we're gonna
No,
we're gonna go ahead and get into our
Blend.
omelet this week, Brian.
Blend.
So what do we got?
well, this week we're gonna continue the music theme. I guess I didn't know we were doing it, but we'll continue it as we talk about stuff that divided nations, watch girls crumble and cry, and even made maybe some grown men cry occasionally. We're talking boy bands today. So recently, I was over at a friend's house, and he just puts on the music. There's an MTV channel that just plays music videos constantly. Shocking to know that MTV still does that. But one of the songs that came on was the Backstreet Boys. And he got excited because he was a fan of the Backstreet Boys. The next song, no kidding, no joke, was NSYNC. And it just sparked a debate between us of what made them great. Why did you like them? And it just kind of made me wonder, why do we enjoy boy bands so much? What makes them so cool to some people? And when you look into boy bands, there's, I guess, a few factors that always go into it. the catchy music they have. There's always that, Matt mentioned it. There's always that pop feel to it. It's that you get that song stuck in your head and it's always there. There's usually the group dynamic. There's always you feel someone you're relatable to or someone that you in the band feel like, I like this guy or I like this girl, depending on the band or the group at the time here, where I was talking boy bands, but you kind of feel like a connection to somebody in the group. Then you have the dynamic of the group itself. You have there's obviously the different types of people in the band. You have the bad boy, the cute guy, the guy who looks like the older brother who you could go have a chat with. And of course, you have that shy, quiet one that's in every group. And you see that and you go, man, I can connect with that. That's something I enjoy. And then, of course, there's that sense of community because you have other people who are fans just like you, other people who enjoy their music, enjoy the dance, enjoy the choreography, whatever it is, you all enjoy it together. And that community aspect makes you feel a part of it. It's that essence of entertainment, the shared experience with everybody. And, it appeals to everybody. It could be kids, teenagers, adults. As an adult, I still enjoy NSYNC's music. I can admit that. Am I going to own that everywhere? Probably not. But I will still admit that I do enjoy it a few times here and there. And as much as you want to say you're against everybody, you're still going to listen to Backstreet. You're still going to listen to a Hanson. Or there's some groups now that I don't even know half these groups anymore, but you have like a One Direction, BTS. The boy band phase will never go away. But the question is, why are they an obsession for some people? And, as I was looking into this, they were talking about how there's a powerful connection based on when you find the boy band or when you find this group. As a kid, you grow up and they're there. They just become a part of you. For me, that's why I enjoy NSYNC. As a young kid, they were always on the radio, always on TV. I saw them constantly. So they just became a part of my almost everyday life because I saw them so much. And sometimes you don't think about it until subconsciously they're there. And you just go, I guess I have been a fan of this band for a while. And to me, that's the experience. It's like when now as an adult, I see and I hear an NSYNC song, it makes me think of when I was a kid and the joy it brought me the first time I heard the band or heard one of these songs, and that nostalgia comes out. And I think that's what helps make the boy bands stay and last and have the impact and lasting legacies they do. So I will ask my fellow eggs, do you have a boy band or somebody or a group of this sort that you guys, I don't want to say still listen to, but like when they come up, it kind of just puts that smile on your face?
You want to go first?
Not really. I have things.
I have many things.
I'm still turning.
So I believe the original boy band were the Beatles.
Sure.
This is correct. Yep.
They evolved into something much different after that, but with songs like "I Want to Hold Your Hand," stuff like that. I feel like the original boy band, well before my time, believe it or not. And I do like the Beatles. Now, in 2019, I took my wife to the mixtape tour. Now, who was part of the mixtape tour? Well, the reason we went was because I'm trying to look it up here, the names of everybody that was there, but it was New Kids on the Block. Now, as someone who was born in 1976, late 80s, early 90s, New Kids on the Block was where it was at for as far as boy bands. Now, as a young kid then, I of course pretended I didn't like the right stuff, but I didn't really mind it. But my sister had posters on the wall of Jordan and all those New Kids on the Block. But the mixtape tour had New Kids on the Block, Salt and Peppa, Tiffany, Debbie Gibson, and Naughty by Nature there. So just so you know, that was about 88% female and 12% male. I was one of the 12%. Right. Enjoyable, but still counting the minutes till it was over, if you catch my drift. Okay.
Yep.
But I would say my favorite boy band, and I know we're in a disagreement here, but that's okay, is the Backstreet Boys. I have two songs I really enjoy from them. One is Shape of My Heart, and it goes a little like this. Looking back on the things that I've done, I was trying to be someone. And if you know, they go like this, and they're like that, and they're like this. But I want it that away. All right, you know the deal.
We
And
know the go.
that song has gained popularity over the
Yes.
years. Like with younger generation that had no idea they weren't even born yet, and or at least were very young. Because my daughter's 20, and Backstreet Boys are ahead are before her time, but I remember being in the movie theater and that song came on before the movie. We were seeing Aladdin, and for some reason there was a lot of teenagers there, and they all started singing it. And then, you know what? From that moment forward, I'm like, they're on to something here. So that's me, boy
Yeah.
band, Backstreet
So
Back.
when I was very young, I remember all the other kids being into New Kids on the Block. We were pretty
Mhm.
young, but everybody was into that, and I didn't care. I mean, I don't think I cared about music at that point. That evolved, of course, to the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC era when I was like a teenager. I mean, I was at the perfect age, or the girls I went to high school with were at the perfect age for that. There was a lot of other bands too, 98 Degrees and
Yeah,
Yeah.
all
Nick
that stuff.
Lachey.
Shay. There was probably five other noteworthy ones, but obviously the big two were Backstreet and NSYNC. In my mind, my memory tells me that Backstreet Boys was like first to the arena, and therefore was the pioneer leading the way for that era. So that's how I
Hmm.
remember it. But looking back, I think it's pretty obvious that the most successful individual member to come from it is Justin Timberlake. But
Correct.
it's impossible. I think it's impossible to look back fairly and determine, because he was just so far and away, one of the biggest stars on the planet, kind of, or at least he has been.
Yeah, he is. JT.
Yeah.
I wasn't interested in this music really, but you know, the girls that we were hanging out with at the time were, so I was always around it. And like I said before, mall pop, I mean, I was always at the mall. It was always on. It was part of my life. I know the songs. I know this. I was absolutely thrilled. If you've ever seen the movie This Is the End, it's
I
a
have.
comedy with Seth Rogen
Yep.
and those guys, which I love that gang of comedians and actors. And at the very end, statute of limitations, spoiler alert, at the very end, they wish for Backstreet Boys to come back and they perform. I thought that was awesome and
Yep.
hilarious and a perfect ending to that movie, because you didn't see it coming. They were like, "Is it really going to happen?" And I'm like, "No, it's not really going to happen." And then it really happens. That was funny. Um, that's kind of my memory. If this counts, I liked Britney, and I know she's not a
He's
boy.
not a boy, so
It's not
I
a boy
know,
band, but all right. I
I
mean,
know she's not a boy band, but this is the same nostalgic era that we're talking about. And she was prancing around in her schoolgirl outfits or whatever when I was a school age kid, selling all kinds of records and being a megastar. So of course I was interested in that as a young teenager. So
I will say this: all this mall talk today, we should go back. Maybe we can keep them open.
right? Yeah.
malls?
Yeah,
Malls. Yeah.
my malls are ghost towns. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. The whole thing confuses me because anytime I go to this mega mall that I've mentioned, American Dream, there's a lot of people there. Are
Um,
they not buying anything?
I wish they were there in my town because I really want them to stay open. If for anything else, just to socialize, kids to socialize.
Exactly.
I was really sad when Toys R Us closed. I used to like to just walk in there and just see what they had. Those days are over.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true.
The mall that I went to growing up when I was a teenager was a very big mall, and it was definitely a rendezvous point for teens to hang out and everything.
Mhm.
Maybe causing a little trouble, nothing major. At some point, when I was long since been an adult when this happened. It must have been pre-COVID. They were having so much trouble with teenagers going there on the weekends and stealing and actually causing real harmful mischief, that they attempted to ban teenagers from going without like a chaperone. I have no
Yeah.
idea how that worked out, how they would have enforced that. Nothing. I know I wouldn't go there on a Friday or Saturday just because that's the wrong time to go. on a Friday or Saturday night. The shopping is over and the children are out to cause havoc. I mean, we were a little bit of troublemaker, but I mean, we weren't stealing. I mean, that's a little much. That's a little much.
Brian, I'm sorry we hijacked your segment here with mall
No,
talk.
what?
This is actually the history of the mall.
Apparently
Yeah,
not.
we're going back to the history of the malls now, and let's talk about how they were constructed. And how are they constructed? On the backs of boy bands playing throughout all of them.
The backs. Well, hey, you mentioned what didn't Tiffany do? Like
Tiffany has a song, "Let's Go to the Mall." Like
she did know she like toured when she like toured. She like played at malls.
yeah,
Like when she was when she first came out.
yeah. This is true. So anyway, boy bands.
Boy bands in Brittany.
Yeah, exactly. We'll tie it
In
all
the mall.
together. In the mall. Well, they would do all their autograph signings in the mall. There it is. So the thing I'll tie this together with at the end here is, Matt mentioned it, the one thing that, ultimately destroys most boy bands is somebody spins off. Somebody becomes bigger than the boy band, goes on their own. You mentioned it, Justin Timberlake. Another famous boy band, the Jackson 5. Spins off, you get Michael Jackson out of that. And, some boy bands, don't have those spin-offs to have superstardom, so they have to stay the boy band forever. Backstreet Boys is a perfect example of they took that hiatus, but they came back and they're still making music. They're still putting out CDs right now, even. So the thing I found interesting as I was doing my research, Entertainment Weekly put out a list of the 25 greatest boy bands. Now, I'm not going to drain the whole thing because no one, most of these bands, probably none of us all really know. But I found it interesting. Their top 10 was 5 Seconds of Summer, who gained their fame by being the opening act for One Direction. Then you have Menudo.
Okay. All right.
Which Menudo is another band which spun off Ricky Martin.
Yeah.
Then you have New Edition, which was the group with Bobby Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have at 7 was the Backstreet Boys.
No spinoffs.
No spinoffs. At 6, you had Hanson, which were 3 brothers.
They're ahead of the Backstreet Boys?
You can't go anywhere without hearing Bop, man. Come on. Bop.
It's one song. One song.
Took over the world.
Shit.
But they are 6. Yeah. 5 was New Kids on the Block.
Yeah.
As talked about. 4 is BTS, which is the new hit group coming from, that's kind of the now era of our boy band's continuation. 3 was One Direction.
What? Over freaking Backstreet?
2 was NSYNC.
This is crap.
And
number one is Boys to Men?
Number 1 is the Jackson 5.
Wait, so Beatles wasn't even on the list?
They were not even in the top 25.
There's something wrong here. I don't know if they don't consider them a boy band, but they were. They were.
See, and that's the thing. Because you have the Beatles and the Monkees, which I could consider. You could also consider them a boy band.
Yeah, but they weren't singing, right? They didn't sing their own songs or something like that, or what was it?
They were more of a boy band than the Beatles. Even
they were a show.
They were a show, absolutely. But the thing with, like I said, with boy bands that ties everything together with this is they're always going to be another boy band. This is the one music fad that will always continue forever and ever. The next boy band will be there. Once this one ends, we'll have another one come out of nowhere and kind of sweep the world. One Direction came, they stopped. Here came BTS, and it will continue and continue and continue.
I want to correct myself with the Monkees. I want to say I think they didn't play the instruments. They sang. They didn't play the instruments.
Correct.
Something weird like that.
Yeah. It looked
okay,
like
Bober.
Yeah, because it did. Like if you watch, they're strumming the guitar like this, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah. Bober's gonna be freaking texting at 7 times. No, they sing all the time. Whatever, dude.
We have to properly acknowledge Harry Styles as being the one to advance
spin off of the One Direction.
One Direction.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm very upset that Britney didn't make the top 10.
Yes, as you should.
And you know who else should probably make the top 10 is the Spice Girls. They're a big deal.
My goodness.
I will give you that.
Well, Bryant, well done. Very well done. Nice omelet. Tasty.
It's good omelet.
So interesting enough, Madam, the next topic is deviled eggs. And believe it or not, You listed first.
Holy shit.
And I'm not making it up. Look at the outline.
Wow. Well, you can edit that in real time. So
But you don't want to know why I did that, Madam.
I
Because
don't.
Brian's topic was last. Why would I have him go first?
God, there's a science to it. So speaking of science, I'll remind everybody deviled eggs, things that have scared us, things that scare us. So speaking of science, I am pretty scared, let's say freaked out by plant life. I'm not the biggest fan. Uh, the way that it grows, the way that it moves, the way that it sucks up the resources that humans need in life, like sunlight and water, the way it can wrap itself around things and keep coming back. The plants freak me out.
What are we talking about? Are
I,
you are
I'm
This
you
is
know
this
they
real?
help us too,
I'm trying,
don't like trees like create oxygen?
I didn't say that we should get rid of trees.
Well,
And
that's plant life. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I realize, how terrifying, right? We're producing carbon dioxide and needing oxygen, and they're doing the reverse. Think about how dependent we are on their survival. They could just off themselves and we'd be going right down the tube with them. Scary, man. If they had even a little bit of brain, we'd be in big trouble.
well, I think of Venus flytrap, right? Aren't they like scary?
I mean, it's got like a face and a mouth and teeth and
Yeah.
Little Shop of Horrors. Brad, you like musicals.
I do like Little Shop of Horrors. Feed
Yeah.
me, Seymour.
Yes.
So, also in the Wizard of Oz, when they're throwing the apples, the trees are throwing the apples at
Yes.
that's pretty scary, huh?
Her name's
But that's
Dorothy.
all fake. Okay. All
Well,
right. I
somebody
don't
dreamed up, just how you dreamed up the poop on your front lawn situation. Somebody dreamed up these stories. Let's move on. I
so
I have let's not move on. I have the right to have whatever goddamn deviled egg I want to. So let's go hear what boring, uncreative
I
thing.
don't again, I don't know if we've talked about this movie. I'm gonna do a movie this week because I did a real life situation the one time. But have we talked about Nightmare on Elm Street on this show?
No, I don't think so.
Now, watching it, Freddy Krueger, he goes into your dreams and he kills you. He's revenge of the parents. He's going to these children's dreams because he's revenge for the parents that torched him. Okay, but it was a hell of a backstory. Okay, he was a child murderer,
Spoiler
and
alert.
huh? He's a child murderer. That actually is not a spoiler. That is the beginning, and he got off on a technicality. So the parents on Elm Street went after him and torched him and killed him. And now, as an evil spirit, he goes into the children's dreams of these parents and kills them. Now, watching it, it's entertaining. It's a little scary but entertaining. But as a kid, a young kid, and I think this is 1983 that he first came out. I could be wrong about that, but close to that. That is terrifying when you're going to sleep. Okay, knowing that the only way this monster of a man can get you is if you fall asleep. Hours went by. Hours went by when I was a child, and I left the light on because it was the only way he could get you. And I knew it wasn't real that he would kill you, but I also didn't want to see him in there and just have a bad dream. I didn't even want to have a bad dream. I was just scared of having the bad dream. Not that he was actually going to kill me, but the fact that I'd be scared in the dream. It is a scary concept. Robert Englund, Wes Craven, well done. Well done. You scared me. Deviled eggs.
Love it. I love that
The
franchise, by
question
the way.
about the story. Was it revealed? And just honest to God, because I don't remember. Was it revealed right away that the parents were responsible for killing him, or did that come out at the end like, oh shit, that's why he's a bad guy?
She explains to Nancy, her mother explains to Nancy, the main character, that that Freddy Krueger can't get you because mommy killed him, and she told him what happened. Told her what happened.
Like at the beginning of the first movie?
No, you don't know why, but it's in the first movie though.
No, it's about halfway through the first movie. Like he has a few kills, and then all of a sudden Nancy brings the name up, and that's when the mom explains it.
Because it's strange. Why would you be bringing this name up? This you never knew this guy. You know what I mean?
I want to say that they're working on another one, but that's probably always the case.
I I wish they would come up with that. Like they tried to do a series once too, and it didn't work
Yeah.
out. But I
Yeah.
really wish they would do something more because the last remake they did a remake of the original.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was
They did.
okay. It
It
was
It's
okay.
all
wasn't
right.
great with Rooney Mara, right?
But I
Yeah,
really did enjoy Freddy versus Jason. I did,
loved it.
and it gets terrible reviews, but
Oh, I loved it.
I loved
Loved
it
it.
too. And he's so funny in it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Freddy, this child murderer that ends up being a comedian.
Yeah, that's like a comic book come to life, that movie.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
really I think Freddy Krueger's my favorite of all that those kinds of movies. You know the the Friday the 13th, the Halloweens, Chucky. Sometimes they include Jigsaw in there from Saw. I think my favorite is Freddy Krueger, just because he has a personality, a real personality. Well, so does Chucky, I guess. But
Yeah.
Jason doesn't talk. Michael Myers doesn't talk.
Yeah.
Anyway, Brian.
So for mine, we're going to do a little bit of a callback somewhat to something I brought up on a past episode, but we'll
Okay, an
talk
egg
about it
white.
now. An egg white, yes. And
White
we're
Devil,
gonna
White
go
Devil.
we're gonna go back to February of 2000. A young Bryant is at home with his family watching his favorite medical drama, ER. And in this episode, they're celebrating Valentine's Day. There's this big party, and there's this guy who comes in. He is his name is Paul Zabricki. I can remember it like it was yesterday. And he comes in, he's having issues, he's having like a psychotic break a little bit. And Carter and Lucy are doing everything they can to, work with him and help him. And then, they finally come up with the idea they're going to, send in the psychiatrist to talk to him. And, as this is going on, Lucy goes in and talk to him. Lucy doesn't come back for a while. So Carter said, well, I'm going to go in and talk to him as well. And it's in that moment that look at this terrifying man behind Carter. Look at the anger and rage in his eyes as he is walking up behind Carter. And then he stabs Carter. He stabs him and he stabs him again. And then you immediately panic and you go, oh my God, no one can hear Carter. And as he falls to the ground, he sees Lucy on the other side. She's been stabbed as well. And as a child, it was horrible, horrifying. Longest week of my life waiting for the next episode to see what happened. But that's not why I bring this up. I bring this up because the actor, David Krumholtz, legitimately scared me for probably the next 20 years. Like, when I saw him, all I saw was that guy, that character. He was so good. Didn't care that he was Bernard the elf in the Santa Claus. I just envisioned he was going to murder Tim Allen. Every movie I saw him in just terrified me. I assumed he was going to go on a murder rampage and just start killing people. Scared me. What broke it? He was in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, and it just changed everything. And I realized, oh, he's not as dangerous as I thought he was. Okay. But for those very early years, I just assumed he would kill everyone in every movie he was ever in. He was so good as an actor in that he sucked me in like that. But I was very scared of him, and obviously never met the guy, but like every role, I just assumed he would kill people.
He is a good actor. He can play the nerd. He can play what you just say. He
Yeah,
can do just about anything. And yeah, I liked him in the Santa Claus as well too. But yeah, I knew you were going to bring up Harold and Kumar.
yeah, that was the movie that changed it all. Like he's in that movie, and I was like, oh,
They're
okay,
toasting with the hot dogs.
yes.
Remember
I'm like,
that?
oh, it's this guy that I'm afraid of. I got nothing to fear now. All right.
Yeah, he's a
So
versatile guy. It was also Justin Oppenheimer, so
Hmm.
he was in a Best Picture winner.
yeah,
He's someone that
absolutely.
can fit in anywhere.
Yes, he could do it all.
He's a character actor.
Yes.
He can play any part.
No,
I
he's
don't know if
perfect
he
for
can
it.
play the stud muffin, but he can try.
Yeah, I was about to say he could try, but yeah, probably not.
Who can?
It's all about confidence, right?
That's the main thing, and a lot of people lack it. So, but back to you, Brad.
Very good, Bryant. I guess Matt M is all set in his ways right there. He's good. He wrote down a little bit, but must have decided against saying anything.
He
Which
said a little bit.
which brings us to duck eggs. What's duck eggs again? Obscure facts. So a couple years ago on the Kickout crew, we had a gentleman on named Thrillbilly Silas Mason. He's a NWA wrestler, very funny guy. He was really charismatic on the show, and he brought up that emus went to war with Australia, and I laughed because he said something at the end like, "And by the way, I'm Team Emu," and it was just so freaking funny. But I never really researched it until today, or not today, late earlier in the week. Let's go with earlier in the week, not today, not before I got here. No. So Australia is
During the
known
show.
Australia is known for its unique wildlife, not all of which is friendly. In 1932, the country received a harsh reminder of that when a drought caused some 20,000 emus to move inland in search of water during their breeding season, disrupting farmers' crops in the process. Now, their ostrich-like birds had already had their classification downgraded from native species to vermin, despite being endemic to Australia and appearing on its coat of arms alongside the kangaroo. The mass migration made them publicly enemy number one. The government sent World War I veterans to assist the beleaguered farmers, and though they were outfitted with machine guns, they soon found themselves overwhelmed by their flightless foes. Emus are big, big birds. I mean, among all bird species, only ostriches and maybe, I don't know what a cassowary is, but they are both larger. The machine gunners' dreams of point-blank fire into a serried masses of emus were soon dissipated. The Emu Command had evidently ordered guerrilla tactics, and its unwieldy army soon split up into innumerable small units that made use of the military equipment and uneconomic. A crestfallen field force therefore withdrew from the combat area after about a month. In other words, the emus emerged victorious in what's now known as the Great Emu War. The birds were simply too much trouble to get rid of, and though they suffered heavy casualties, they still thrived down under. So the emus won the war against the World War I machine gun veteran or machine gun the army.
Did the emus sell them insurance before they killed
Oh, I knew that was coming. I was also thinking of Timu.
them?
Well, you would. I'm sure your card is full. But this is a true story.
That's
This is
crazy.
a true story. They lost. The emus won. The
That's
emus
insane.
won.
Wow. Who'd they ever beat, huh?
Who'd emu? Yeah, who'd he ever beat, right?
Oh.
But I never knew. Like he brought this up, and I was like, what is he talking about? But yeah, they they won the war. So I guess there's not much to say because what kind of questions can you possibly have? But the emus won the war. So I guess that's it. Matt M. Socials in next week. Let's go. Let's tell us what's
Okay,
going on.
let's do it. Well, folks, we are Three Eggs Are Better Than One, cooking up every Monday morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Find us on YouTube at Three Eggs Are Better Than One. The number three, the letter R, the number one. Follow us on X, Blue Sky, Instagram, and TikTok at Three Eggs Are Better. The number three, the letter R, and also our individual X accounts at YesManBrad, at Biharemza, and I am at Purple Shirt Guy without the I. And just like last week, how about some 5-star reviews for you boys? Now, if you're not going to give those 5-star reviews this week, why don't you save them for next week when I'm going to bring my topic to the table? A little teaser. You know, I like to ask questions. You know, I like to talk about words. We're going to talk about names. Not just any names, nicknames. What can you do with the name? The backstory is many years ago, I was with Sue, my wife, and a bunch of friends. We were kind of having a pool party sort of thing. The libations were flowing, and we started talking about names and nicknames, and it turned into a conversation that actually went on for several years. And now that conversation is going to come to this show, and you'll find out all about it next week.
Fantastic. Can't wait for that. I don't even want to get into what my nickname was. Bryant, it's your time to shine, man. Take us home.
I'm just saying, a conversation that's lasted years. I barely remember conversations from last week, but all right, we'll go with it.
We have outlines for that.
Thankfully. We want to thank you guys for joining us this week. It's been fun chatting about boy bands, hearing about things that are scaring us. As always, as Matt said, give us a list, give us a follow, give us a listen, give some reviews, tell a friend. We're always here. We'll see you guys next week. The egg timer's been set.
Wah, 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 wah.